This is an OCR question, paper 1 for the GCSE, and it's a multiple choice question. Which one of the following is determined in a product market? In economics, we have different types of markets. One of them is a product market. This is where, the clue's in the name, where products are made. And a product can be a good. A good is something which is tangible, something that you can touch, like a pen. Whereas a service is another type of product, and a service is something which is intangible. You can't touch it, like a haircut. It can be easy to think about, could you give the actual item to someone as a present and wrap it up? You can wrap up a pen in some wrapping paper. You can't wrap up the actual haircut in some wrapping paper. That's a service. It's intangible. So in a product market, where you're making products, we have other types of markets in economics as well. We have factor markets. A product market is where you're buying and selling goods and services. A factor market is where you're buying and selling factors of production. And the factors of production, we have 4 of those. As you know, we've got land, we have labour, we have capital, and we have enterprise. And these 4 factors of production are actually used to then make products. So this is where we start off essentially. Number 1, you're in a factor market. You're buying and selling the factors of production. Number 2, you're in the product market. You're making the factors of production part of your production process, and you are churning out goods and services. You're churning out products. Another type of market that you have is a labour market. And in the labour market, you are buying and selling people's labour. That is one of the factors of production down here. But a labour market specifically, that's where you're finding out what your wage rate is. And you need to make sure that you're clear on the separation of these 3 different types of markets in economics. So if we look over here, we want to know which of these is determined in a product market. So the output of desks, that sounds likely. You're using the factors of production to make things. You're in the product market. You are outputting or manufacturing desks. So it looks as if that's right. B, the quantity of carpenters. This is a labour market because you're looking at a type of labour, carpenters, and they're supplying themselves to the labour market. That's not to do with the product market. Looks as if that's wrong. Next one, the rent of a field. A field, in this case, is land. Remember, land isn't always just the land that you're walking on. Something like a field, it can also be something like the sun or the tides. It's something natural. But the rent of a field, that's in the factor market. The business goes into the factor market to the rent of the field. So that's not in the product market. They're not yet doing anything with the field. So that's wrong. The next one, the wages of plumbers. This is another one. We're in the labour market. Plumbers are in the labour market for plumbers. They're offering their services as plumbers. That's the supply of plumbers in the labour market. This is not to do with actually making a product. The product that the plumbers would be making would be a service that they're providing. That would be in the product market. But this is about the wages of plumbers. As we said over here, that will be established in the labour market. So that's also wrong. The answer here is A.